Greetings from Cybertron. This is SoundJack here with a review of the Transformers animated Deluxe class Ratchet. So, Ratchet was another purchase I made at TFCon this past weekend. He is my first animated figure review upon this channel. What did I say upon? On this channel. And he's a very neat figure. He has some gimmicks and pieces that are not necessarily representative of what he did on the show, but it's still overall a very nice toy. So let's start by taking a closer look. I just want to look at the shape of the body because this is some very interesting angles for an ambulance to take. Granted, this is all based on Derek J. Wyatt's art style, so it's accurate. It just sometimes is a little strange when you take it to toy form, but it still looks very nice, very chubby, very Derek J. Wyatt-y. Bit narrow at the front, and like I said, very angly and straight in slightly different ways. Taking a look at the front, most of the front is, well, the very, very front is in this white, but you get some black for this molded in winch. There's nothing to do, you can't do that, but the winch is there. You got yellow for the lights and a little bit of black for a little bit of like eyeshadow going on there. Coming up to the top, you got some red for the hood and a nice silver Autobot logo. You got a transparent blue windscreen with a little bit of like tech detail, circuit pattern detailing, and even molded in seats, which like would be very narrow for a person to try to sit in, but they are molded in there, so that's a nice touch. And then you get some blue for the sirens on top. And then the roof is just red, though it's two different shades of red, as you can tell. Obviously one's painted and one's not, but there is a difference. Coming onto the side, you got the door, you got light blue painted windows, you got some red on the edges here, you got a electrocardiogram logo. The wheels are pure black, but they do roll. On the back, you get some red, you got some doors, you got some clear blue rear tail lights, some robot bits. Other side is the same as the other side of the vehicle. This side is the same as this side of the vehicle. And then underneath, just some robot legs. For the most part, it hides the parts pretty well. Yeah. Like I said, it's got 4 wheels, so it is capable of rolling. Has a tendency to go towards the left, but it does roll. And it does come with some accessories. Ratchet does have 4 weapons, tool things that he can use. He's got this hammer, this wrench, this oversized screwdriver, and this can opener. Yeah. So he's got all of those. Unfortunately, none of them are able to be stored anywhere in the vehicle mode. There's just absolutely no place for any of this. So I'm just acknowledging it for now, and then we'll get back to them when we get to the robot mode. But now it's time for some size comparisons. Here he is with Legends Class Bumblebee. And you can see how they scale together. Deluxe Class Chrome Dome. And you can see how they look together. Chrome Dome is just longer and certainly wider, but Ratchet is also taller because of his body, his vehicular body. Here he is with Voyager Class Megatron. And there you see how they compare. And here he is with Leader Class 6 Shot. And you can see that scale right there. Yeah. Alright, that's all there is to say on the vehicle mode for Ratchet, so now let's roll right along to the robot mode. And to do that, we're going to start by pulling the legs down. They just tab into slot, these panels up here tab into slots on the legs. And these bits on the back of the arms have to be positioned in a specific way so that they fit into these gaps in the backs of Ratchet's legs, or else it's not going to close down. But we're going to robot mode, so you pull all of that down, and it doesn't like lock, but this all kind of holds in place. And we'll split the legs. They just tab in with that tab right there and that slot right there. And you got to straighten the legs out a little bit. Then you'll come down to the feet and you pull. It's best to like pull on that like small tab right there. You probably can't even see it, but you can probably figure it out where it is, where I'm putting my fingernail. Then pull the foot out and straighten that out. Grab that tab there, pull it out, straighten that out. And there you have the robot legs all done. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to take the back cab and flip it up and get it out of the way for now. Next, you're going to take these side panels and fold them up on these hinges like so and like so. Next, what's going to happen is you're going to come in and pull these arms out from the sides like so. There is these two sets of hinges right there. That's how it all folds in, and then it just collapses and sits there, and it sits there rather nicely. It doesn't tab into anything, but it does hold very nicely. So you'll just pull that all out like so, and then you're gonna rotate it down. You're gonna extend the arm out, rotate it 180 and fold the hand and the thumb out. And there you have the one arm done. So now we repeat that on the other side. We pull this out, we rotate this around, extend the arm, rotate the arm 180, fold the hands and the finger and the thumb out, and there you go. You got the two arms done. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to take the front of the ambulance and you're going to collapse it in like so. So it's folded in like that, and that will happen. The last thing that's going to happen with the transformation is you're going to fold this entire like roof and backpack assembly down. But what's going to happen, there's a thing that's going to happen. When that tab right there on the black bit goes into that slot right there. And you're going to fold all of that down, like I said. And when you fold it down, Ratchet's head pops out. And that's pretty fun. That's a pretty neat. You just stick it in there, and when you transfer it, it'll lock back into place. That tab goes into that slot, and boop, there's Ratchet's head. And then you just adjust the backpack so it's straight, sits like so, like an actual backpack would. And there you have Ratchet in his robot mode, and he looks pretty good. He looks pretty good. I will say right off the bat, the hands are a tad weird, but that's in part just how the gimmick works with him. So let's start by taking a closer look at his face. Face right here. The mouth area is blue, surrounded by bits of red. The rest of the helmet is white with red on the head crest, and it even has the broken head crest like he does in the show. There's red on the sides, and there is light piping going through Ratchet's head. But I don't know what happened to the flashlights, so you'll just have to take my word. Well, hold on, let's try that. Yeah, there's the light piping right there. Don't know where the flashlight went. Oh well. Coming down, you see
The front of the vehicle being his robo gut, his energon belly, I would say. His arms, he's got siren bits on his shoulders, right there and there. His arms are mostly red with some black in the middle, and then the lower arms are red with the fingers in white. His left arm also features a port that will accommodate the EMP engine block that comes with the lockdown figure, because you would know if you watch the cartoon, Lockdown stole Ratchet's EMP generator, and now it's just a war wound on Ratchet, but he is able to take it and put it in there, and he can use that. But I don't have that toy, so I cannot show that off to you. The right arm does not feature that. Moving on to the legs, the hip, the crotch area, and the hip area are in red. White for some of the lower part of the thigh, and mostly red for the main legs. A little bit of black around the kneecaps, and then white for the feet, and black for the heels that are sitting inside there. And then I forgot to talk about the shoulder panels. Shoulder panels, they show off another electrocardiogram symbol there, and they kind of stick out. They do stick out a bit more than the cartoon model does, but it does what it can with the design, and it does a fairly good job. And then the backpack is just the backpack, mostly just the back half of the upper half, back half of the ambulance mode. Yeah, so for articulation, his head is able to rotate a full 360 degrees. You can move it about with the spring, but it's not going to stay in any place. The arms, they can rotate a full 360, and it's got a kind of a gear system to rotate on. I don't think that's technically a ratchet. It might be a ratchet, and I'm just not. It might be a ratchet on ratchet. If someone knows that terminology better, please correct me if I'm wrong in calling that a ratchet, but I will call it a ratchet for now because that's the closest analogy I can make to it. But you can also extend the arms out, though of course not all the way, just because of the head being in the way. But even if you take the head down, you can't. Oh yeah, you actually can get them to go all the way. But like I said, head gets in the way, so you really can't. But it is the articulation is there. There's a swivel right here at the top of this back piece for the arm. The arms are able to bend slightly less than 90 degrees, a bit less than 90 degrees. I'd say that might even be like 60. Get in there. You're not supposed to come out. Okay, fine. I guess you're staying. Hands, the fingers are hinged. All the 4 fingers are hinged together, so they're able to close, able to open that far. And the thumb is able to hinge that far and that far. How far it is able to hinge is mostly due to transformation. Waist, there is no waist swivel just because of how this transforms, but you can like get them to stand more upright, I guess. I don't know. Or throw his back out. Ow, my back! But his legs are able to bend that far forward. Oops. Stay in position, hips. That far back. Hold on. That is a thing that likes to happen. The mushroom the pegs that connect the lower legs to this red section do like to pop out. When I was taking this back home from TFCon, again, it happens. Are you kidding me? Both of the legs had fallen off. So if you are moving that, move it by the hip, not by the lower leg. Move it by the hip. But continuing on, legs are able to bend out that far to the side, and they are able to rotate on that point that likes to pop out ever so much. Knees are able to bend less than 90 degrees. If you want, you can get him to break his leg by using the transformation joint. And there's a bit of foot tiltage, and this heel piece is articulated to stay with the front of the foot, because most of this leg will serve as the heel, but if you do want to get a different pose, this heel will come out so as you can get more posing out of him, which is nice. For gimmicks, since that's what to do, he is able to have his magno clamp claw thingies. Yeah, they're just his magnets come out. They store in the back of the forearm, and they're spring loaded. There's not like a button to press. You just kind of pull them and they come out, and they're not at all show accurate. They kind of tried. To me, they kind of look more like jumper cables than like half of a magnet. But that's what there is. And then you just pull them back and they'll just connect. Though this one does like to be a bit loose. But now we're able to talk about the accessories that Ratchet comes with. All these bad boys. So if you notice, all of them have this clip at the base of them. And if you notice, they fit over this the point where the magnets hinge on Ratchet's body. So you can hold on, get the thumb out of the way. You are completely able of clipping them in there and allowing Ratchet to hold any of the weapons in his hands, and it works for both hands. So Ratchet's gotta pound some dents out of B, and then open up a can of tuna for dinner later. And then, like I said, it's completely possible to do these with them as well. But there is storage for them in robot mode. If you can see, on the back, in the backpack, in the middle, actually in the backpack, there are these 4 like pegs or knobs or whatever you want to call them. I'll just call them pegs. There are 4 pegs, and they all work and they are all capable of holding the 4 weapons. Some of them don't like to hold as well in certain pegs or in certain directions, but they all will fit. Okay, so you don't want to fit like that, or don't want to fit on that one. So let's try putting you over here. Yeah, you fit better. This one doesn't like to go on the end. This one likes that position. And then you go over there, and bada boom. Ratchet's got weapons. His medical tool sticking out of his back, and that kind of looks a little silly. Looks a little silly. He's trying to be Wreck-Gar, isn't he? That's all there is to say on the Ratchet itself. So now it's time to get into some robot mode size comparisons. If I get this centered, yeah. Some size comparisons. Here he is with Legends class Bumblebee. And Bumblebee comes like right below that headlight on his gut. Here he is with Deluxe class Chrome Dome, and while his vehicle mode may seem kind of small, he certainly towers over Chrome Dome in robot mode, being at least a full head taller than him, maybe a bit more than a full head taller. Yeah. And there is Voyager class Megatron. And Ratchet's head goes like to above the stickers on Ratchet's chest, just about. And with his shoulder panels, he does end up reaching Megatron's own head. And then Leader class 6 shot again, much taller than current Deluxes. And his head actually gets up to like right about there on him, it seems. And of course the panels make him reach up to these wings on him. And then, of course, here he is with the channel mascots Soundwave and Wheeljack. And you can see how he scales compared to them. Yeah. Ratchet was one of the cartoon, was one of the main cast members of the cartoon. Oh, excuse me. So Ratchet is certainly a good character to pick up because he has a lot of cartoon story to back him up. But he also is a very interesting toy. He converts very nicely between his robot and vehicle forms. His gimmick and accessories are have a little bit to be desired since they're not show accurate. It makes sense that he has all of these tools that he can use, but the magnets themselves don't look a whole lot necessarily on model. And I know there have been people that have made magnets for Ratchet to hold and use instead to be more cartoon accurate. Minor things. Overall, a very good toy, very nice toy, very nice interpretation of the cartoon design into toy form. So I'd say if you have a chance of picking it up and getting it all complete, because I'm not sure how hard it is to find him with all 4 of the accessories, but if you do find him, I would suggest getting him if you can find him for a good price. So that's all I have to say on Ratchet. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at SoundJack426. Also, please consider donating on my Patreon page to help support the channel. All the links will be in the description below. Thanks for tuning in. This is SoundJack signing off.